you gonna keep me company? Today we're gonna do the recap from the polytunnel, because why not? So let's start with the January recap, where I go over all the things I did and didn't do in January. And though the list is small there, I do have a few carryover items as well. So I've got the red pen, I've got the green pen, and I gotta tell you, I'm not very excited about this one. Not a lot happened here, spoiler alert. But let's go over here and see how I did, because things were a lot more successful. The first and most major carryover thing is the flue pipes. This job has been haunting me for well over a year, and I've been working on it pretty seriously since November. And I finally finished it up this past weekend. If you want a trilogy of wood stove fun, you can watch that video here. It was surprisingly popular. A lot of people out there seem to be interested in wood stoves, so very happy to share. But I'm even happier this job is done. It was brutal. Didn't really know what I was doing. I puzzled through a lot of stuff. It was really slow, very daunting, but I got it done, and I couldn't be happier. So this was a major job, and it's crossed off my list. I still need to monitor the situation and make sure that the wood stove is working as expected, but I won't open the pipes up again until the end of the winter, so all will be revealed in a couple of months. Build a sawhorse. I did this right at the beginning of January. There's also another video, click up there if you want to see that one. It's probably more useful as how not to build a sawhorse, but hopefully it's mildly entertaining as well. So that's done. Pull weeds. Let's just forget that exists. Oh, that wasn't gonna be something I did. So basically the two things, sawhorse and the flue pipes, they really did take a lot of my time up. That sawhorse job took me way longer than it should have. And the pipes, like I said, was pretty major. So that brings me to January. Track expenses. Let's just go down here because it's a little bit more positive. I tracked my expenses in January. My plan was to go onto a mega budget just to see how cheaply I could live. I failed with the mega budget because I just always need to buy stuff for the house. But I passed with the tracking of expenses. I'm going to continue to track expenses February and March. I'll do it the whole year if I can, but I'll be really vigilant about it in February and March. And then in April, I'd like to do a video just about kind of money and where I earn my money from, what I spend it on, what kind of budget I have, stuff like that. So that's something to look forward to if you're into the money stuff. So I was successful tracking my expenses. I've got a little spreadsheet set up. That's all good. But the tool shed. Oh, the tool shed. So I came into this job with a plan to put the tool shed next to the side of the house, but a lot of comments came in about that location choice, and people didn't like it. People were not into that location. They didn't want me to cover up the beautiful stones, and after some thought, I agree. I totally agree. What that meant is that it threw my entire plan into chaos, and I sort of had to start from scratch. I now think I have a better location choice for the tool shed, but that means I have to move my water tank yet again. It means I have to decide on my gray water foundation location for the pipes. There's just a lot of work to do on the groundwork before I even start building and before I even start designing. So I need to move the water tank out of the way, measure everything up before I really even know the size of the tool shed. I'm going to go as big as I can, but there's sort of constraints with the sort of curvature of the wall area in the back, and also the fig tree is in the way too. So unfortunately, I haven't really made a lot of progress on the tool shed. I have done nothing for the foundation, nothing for the design, and besides moving the wood, I've done nothing. But I have moved the wood, and I've set up this polytunnel in January as well. That wasn't a job that was on my list. I wasn't expecting to get this thing. It just kind of fell into my lap, and so I had to dedicate time to putting it up, and it's been perfect, and it's a great spot to store this wood. So moving the wood, setting up the polytunnel, editing the videos for all that stuff was a lot of work as well, so that took up a bunch of my time. Look at me, I'm just full of excuses this month. The one thing on the tool shed list that I did do that I really didn't need to do is the pointing. Since I've decided to put my tool shed in a completely different location, I don't really need to point the wall first because it's not going to be covered up. But when everybody was talking about how beautiful that wall is, it just made me inspired to do some pointing work. I love pointing. I think it's just a meditative kind of Zen sort of job, and I just stick the podcast on, stick an audiobook on, and yeah, spend my day just kind of doing a bit of this, bit of that, bit of mixy, and it's just really fun. So I spent quite a few days pointing. Actually, I didn't spend any days pointing. I spent a lot of days packing lime into the wall. So chipping out the dirt and then repacking the wall with lime in preparation for pointing, the final stage. I'll do a whole video about my pointing process some point very soon, but I just wanted you to know that I did spend a lot of time doing that, and it is quite time consuming. So disappointingly, the tool shed really hasn't moved along very far, or hasn't moved along at all, really, if I'm honest. So that brings us to February. Okay, what does February hold for work for me? I don't even know. I'm kind of going on thinking about it on the fly as we speak. Number one. Let's do number one. Number one. I'm going to be less ambitious with the tool shed thing, and I'm just going to aim to clear the space, lay everything out so I know what the footprint's going to be, and just that'll allow me to then do the final design. I know things are going slower than expected, but the tool shed is such a huge job, and I just feel like I need a couple of little wins. I need a couple of jobs that I actually finish, and I'm going to put those on my list after the tool shed. So I'll aim a little bit lower with the tool shed and try to just get sort of the foundation layout done. And that's not even like building the foundation. If I can start on that, I absolutely will. But I just want to kind of know where the stem wall is going to go, and know the footprint of the tool shed, and then I can hopefully lay out the entire space up top as well. So that's going to be my minimum goal. And that's because I have a couple of other fairly ambitious projects that I think I can finish in February. The first one is going to be my front door. Maybe you've noticed that it looks like I have a target on the front door at the moment. That's just me playing around with chalk, because I've decided, I think, I'm still open to suggestions, but I think I've decided to buy a porthole type window and use that as my front door window. Actually, I've already bought a couple of porthole windows. Let me show you what I mean, because I'm having a hard time finding the perfect size. The one, hang on a second, I'll just get it. I'm back. So this is a 10-inch porthole window. And this, I think, is too small for my door, but I'm having a really hard time finding one that's bigger. The 15-inch ones are very hard to come by, but I actually think that's too big. And the 15-inch ones they're not actual windows. They're kind of more decorative, at least the ones that I've found. And then I've found some 12-inch ones, but they are sort of a silver color, which I don't know if I'm crazy about. I'm going to put the link to the one that I'm considering in the notes, and let me know your thoughts on this thing. Let's just go look at this in place on the door, and I think you'll see what I mean. So it's kind of hard to see because we're really close, but I think this is too small, and the lines that are on there right now, that is somewhere around 12 inches. And that's, I think, what I want. I think that's even a little bit too small as well, but I think it's better than 15 inches, which is way too big. So hopefully you have an idea of what I'm talking about with my door. I've insulated it with cork ages ago, and the cat keeps clawing at the cork to get out, and it keeps falling out of the door. So I really need to finish this door off. Today I actually bought the tongue and groove that I need to clad the inside, but I still need to make a decision about the window. And yeah, like I said, I'm leaning towards this silver colored window that's 12 inches, but I'm not 100% sold on it either. So let me know your opinions. Let me know what you think about the porthole idea. I'm going to use that porthole that I just showed you in a different location Actually, that takes me into job number 3. Shower. Every time I go into my shower, it just feels kind of icky. It's dark, it's dingy, it's sort of a dark, nasty corner. And I've got this sort of clay wall that keeps getting water on it and sort of getting eaten away. So I really want to plaster that thing. In a perfect world, I'm going to finish the whole thing off using a technique called Tattalact. But before I even get to that stage, I still need to put a few coats of lime render on it. And for the most part, it's ready for that. The shower is going to be such a fun job for me to do, so I hope that you guys like it as well. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of different natural building techniques. I'll be doing some clay render, sort of on the walls of the bathroom. I'll be doing some lime render on the shower walls themselves. I'll be doing a wattle and daub wall that will be half lime, half clay, which seems a little unorthodox, but I feel like I can make it work. I might be doing a little bit of timber framing to support one of the posts. And yeah, it'll just be a really varied sort of task. And I think the shower and the door are two things that will just keep me motivated and inspired. I feel like when you have these giant jobs like the wood stove, for example, it's easy to get a little bit, to lose your momentum. And I think doing the door and the shower, provided I can actually get them finished, it'll really spur me forward and keep me going. So I'm going to lower my expectations on the tool shed and raise my expectations for some carpentry work on the door and getting started on the shower using a whole bunch of natural building stuff, which I'm very excited about. So I'm going to leave it there. Shower, door, tool shed layout. It doesn't seem overly ambitious, but everything does take way longer than expected, as I've learned, and I'm sure you've seen on my channel many times. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I guess all I need to say now is thank you very much to everybody who supported me with super thanks and with PayPal contributions. Everybody on YouTube has told me that January is a pretty lean month for advertising revenue. I'm new to YouTube. I don't know much about any of this stuff. And it was. However, I did get a lot of very generous contributions in January that really helped me out. So I want to say a big thanks to everybody who chucked in a little bit here and there. It really does go a long way, and it'll help me hopefully buy the porthole window for the door, which is a little bit more expensive than I was expecting to pay. I also just spent about 80 euros on tongue and groove to clad the door, so that's another fairly big expense that I wasn't necessarily expecting. I ended up getting stuff that was a bit more expensive because tongue and groove can be really annoying when it's got knots in it, and this stuff is of a slightly higher quality, so I hope it'll be okay. And also, one of the reasons I ended up buying my insulated flues for my stovepipe is because I had some contributions through PayPal and Super Thanks back in November, and that sort of just gave me the extra funds to feel like I could afford upgrading my flue pipes, and I'm really happy I did that. I think that's going to make a big difference going forward. So my point is that thanks very much everybody for those contributions. They really do help me upgrade some things and push the project forward, keep things moving along, and yeah, and I really appreciate it. And also a big thanks to everybody who watches my videos. This has been a really crazy ride for me with YouTube. I wasn't expecting it to kind of take off the way it did, and I'm really enjoying interacting with everybody in the comments. I get so many great ideas. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about my door idea. So yeah, please do let me know what you think about a porthole window. It's a little unorthodox, but I think it'll add sort of a quirky little touch to the entrance. Yeah, anyway, so that's it for February's plans and January's recap. I'm looking forward to February. I'm very excited to get started on the shower, and I'm a little apprehensive about the work on the door because I'm not 100% sure how I'll do it. But I'm excited for the challenge, and I'm very excited to lay out this tool shed once and for all. I've been talking about it for long enough, and I just need to move forward on that. So I think I have a lot of exciting things coming up in February, and I hope you enjoy my videos, and I hope you watch them, and I hope to hear from you. So I'll end this video here. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.